Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to this episode of A Woman's Prerogative. We are April 27th and we are today talking about what does spring cleaning really mean from a woman's prerogative. So today I welcome you where we provide high-class education for all our viewers, and we also encourage our viewers to access our free content on both our channels, USA Global TV and Radio. So do subscribe to both our channels and Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK's channel also. So I invite you to subscribe. We have thousands of videos that are absolutely interesting for absolutely every subject that you can imagine. So I introduce myself, Reverend Lydia Fougeres, Reverend in Metaphysics, author of this 2-series volume 111 Reflection for Thy Earth Odyssey. I am also a spiritual teacher who works on transforming introspection, mindfulness, compassionate self-discovery. I invite my readers to engage in life curiosity, clarity, and sense of sacred connection through my programs. You can contact me to register to my programs or my groups to achieve an exciting spiritual journey. I am also country manager for this station, so USA Global TV and Radio for Canada and French-speaking countries. So if you want your own show or want to be a guest on our channels, it will be a privilege for me to actually have you join our USA Global TV and Radio family. I have the honor also to have Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK as co-host. She is Private Advisory, Global Media Leadership Founder, Executive Producer, and Chief Listening Officer, USA Global TV and Radio Peace Ambassador, best-selling author, YouTube Silver Creator Award, and much more. So I welcome the beautiful Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK to our show.
Thank you so much, Reverend. It's really good to be here. And I love this topic about spring cleaning because there's so many ways that we can actually take this, right? From the physical cleaning in our home to the cleaning inside of our mind. So great topic. Thanks for picking it.
Oh, thank you very much. So what does spring cleaning mean to you when it comes to either the house or either the soul? So what does it mean to you? I would like for you to explain what it means to you.
Absolutely. I think there's many ways you can look at this. And we were talking backstage. There's a TV show, I don't know which platform it's on, but it was about hoarding. And I decided to watch it because I already knew that hoarding is much more than the inability to stop shopping. I mean, that's an easy way to look at it. It's you can't stop buying things. It's much more than that. And when I watched the series, it was so painful yet insightful to realize that many times when we do not feel fulfilled, when we don't do our shadow work, when we don't actually look at who we are and what's working, why we make the choices that we make, we feel unfulfilled. We might feel unseen. We might feel invisible. And we start stuffing those feelings down. And that comes through in many ways. And sometimes it's in our home, it's in our garage, it's in our car, it's in our closets. So, spring cleaning to me can be evident in our surroundings, but it typically is a reflection of what's going on inside, that it's time to take a look and do some dusting.
You are so right. You are so right. Spring cleaning is absolutely. We have this idea of spring cleaning, seeing our mother wash the walls, wash the windows. And, we have this typical image of that is spring cleaning. But spring cleaning is a lot more than that. Spring cleaning also can be also where our telephones. We can actually clean our cell phones. All those contacts that we actually have that we never call, that they never call, they are not in our lives anymore. I know that I have to decide to take my my deceased husband. I had to take his contact out of my cell phone, and it is extremely difficult because it's part of my life, and this is part of cleaning my soul because it's part of the past. So, spring cleaning is things like those little details. You spring clean also the people that actually you have no contact with, the people that actually have hurt you and will hurt you again. So you spring clean them also. What do you think of my way of spring cleaning my phone and people?
No, I mean, the physical actually cleaning of the phone, I think, is important. By the way, I did read somewhere that our phones can be dirtier than toilets, for example. This is another story, but I never understand when you go into a public restroom and someone is actually on the phone while they're doing their business. I don't know. I don't get that, but that's another show. But I think it is important to go through your phone, and before you even get to the contacts, you can go through email and delete emails. You can delete apps. There's so much that you can do. And there's actually programs and apps that help you with that if they see that you haven't used something in a long time. And another way of spring cleaning is subscriptions that you're not using. There's so many things that we pay for on a regular basis, and it's a few dollars. And that's kind of how they get you. It's $5, $7, or whatever it is in different currencies. And we don't actually notice it. And when we do some spring cleaning, we could save ourselves a few dollars.
You are so right. Actually, spring cleaning is that also. But you in United States, you have this subscription actually that you can take to take out the subscription. We do not have this in Canada. We are victims of ourselves. We actually take subscriptions and we fight to get out of. I'm actually doing that this morning. I'm fighting to get away from a subscription. So the thing is that it is absolutely uh, evil to get away from a subscription that you did not even subscribe to. So the problem with those subscriptions that you talk about is that we do not even know most of the time that we took them. It was just like we clicked the link and then all of a sudden click we have a subscription. So that is the way it is. But spring cleaning also is something like the keys of the house that we had in 1992. It is also that drawer that we have so many things, that drawer that we have in every kitchen. that drawer that has every trinket that we can imagine that is absolutely not useful, that we say, oh, yes, I will use that eventually, and then we never use. So the thing is that that drawer, we can actually take that drawer and that we can actually just spill it in the garbage pail, because the thing is that everything is there is useless, but we thought we needed it. So what do you think about that drawer that everyone has in every home?
I think that's so funny. I'm actually laughing because I went into mine yesterday, and you think to yourself, okay, I haven't lived here that long. It's not even 2 years, and I think, how did this stuff get in here? And I think what happens is it's stuff that you don't know what to do with, but you think one day it could be useful. Like, for example, you might have a rubber band. You're like, you know what? I could use a rubber band at some point. I don't know when, or a paper clip, or you have some loose change. I know in mine, I've got bags of cables that I used for setting up different production equipment when I had a different studio. And I think maybe one day I'll use them, but I never bothered to label them. So I don't know what they're for. So, but you feel guilty just taking all of it and throwing it away. And by the way, I'd like to talk about this for a reason. When I was younger, I never actually thought, where does trash go? Like, we just assume we put it out and then it goes somewhere, but where does it actually go? Something has to actually happen with it. So I'm much more conscientious about throwing things away because I don't know where it's going to go. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, yes, it's a thought, because the thing is that, I do not throw things that actually have my name on it, and I'm a person that actually recycles a lot. So the recycle bin is always full for me, and the garbage pail is not that full. It is pretty much the recycle bin that is full for me, because I'm a recycle recycle person. I would do a lot of recycling. But the thing is that, yes, you are right. And we have also not only those cables, we actually have, we think about all kinds of things, like this giant Ziploc bag that has another 50 Ziploc bags that we won't use. That is pretty much the kind of thing that we have also in our cabinets. So that we just we just keep things to keep things. I know that my garage is a mess. I should actually take care of it. But the thing is that, I do not know when to start, because there are so many things. I have a bike at my house here, and then a bike at my other house. And the thing is that, we I know that I accumulate things to give to my children. So I will give that to my children. I will give this to my children. And then I never get around to go visit my children. So it all accumulates in the garage, and my garage ends up looking like a dump until I decide to throw things away. So that is the way it is for me. So I know it is like that for a lot of parents. So what do you think of that? The garages.
Well, garage is a whole other story. It is interesting because there's always some place. It could be a basement, it's a spare bedroom, but there's some place where we put all of our stuff. And for me, I've moved quite a bit. I think I've moved since 1999 when I got divorced. I think I've moved 26 times. And every time I move, you get rid of stuff. And the thing is, you start packing stuff and you're like, what am I going to do with this? And you think of every amount of packing that you have to do for each item, especially in the kitchen area. So many breakable things. And I don't drink coffee, so I don't even have any coffee cups, but I know people who collect a lot of coffee cups, each and every one of them, wrapping them. And you always have something that somebody gave you or they left, or it was for some fundraiser. And then you go back and say, really, do I need this with this logo on it? And what do you do with it? So you mentioned about recycling. And I did some research about recycling at one point because I knew someone fairly well who had a company that had trucks, and they picked up recycling. And the bottom line was that in some cases, it goes to the exact same places where the trash goes. And I was reading that a lot of the trash in the States is shipped out to Indonesia on floating barges because there's no place to put it. Or they have to do some kind of treatment that causes air pollution. I mean, it can go on, but the bottom line is many of us have too much stuff. And this stuff is taking the place of our emotions in some way. Can you talk a little bit to that?
Yes, the stuff is taking a lot of place in the emotion, but the thing is that I know one thing that I do is that, let us say, all those mugs, or things that I do not want to keep anymore, and I do not want to go out of my way, go to the Salvation Army and go put it there, give it down there. What I do is that I prepare boxes and I just put them on the front lawn, and I write free. I just write free, and they can, whoever wants, they pick up whatever they want in the boxes. And I always end up at the end of the day or maximum 2 days, everything is gone. And it was useful to many people. So the thing is that that is how I get rid of a lot of stuff, because I know that it will be useful to other people, and they will not have to pay for it. So that is the way I do things, and I do the same thing for furniture also. Let us say I have furniture that I want to get rid of. What I do is that I put the furniture on the front lawn, and 2 hours later it is gone. So that is the way I do things. But the problem is that when you want to get rid of something and that you are attached to it, so the way to do it is that you start by putting it like further from you, and then you move it closer to the door, and you get used to that in a couple of days. Then you end up putting it in the box to give away. Because the thing is that if you are attached to the item, well, it takes a transition. So the transition is easier if you see the item moving away and ending on the doorstep. So then you get used to the fact that the item is going away. What do you think of my method?
I think it's very interesting. I like the fact that you actually have a method because it shows that there's a process. And I think that it shows structure and discipline as well. So I know that we're talking about various aspects of spring cleaning. What are your thoughts about the first of the year? Obviously, people are doing a lot of planning for what they think they're going to do or what they want to do to change some aspect of their life. And then the seasons change from winter to spring, and people start looking around and saying, well, I don't need this and I don't need that. What if we did this on a regular basis? What if we actually looked at our lives and said, you know what? I don't need this. I want to donate it. I want to give this item, this materialistic thing that I have, I want to give it a second life with someone else. We could do something like that every day. We could even look at our own time and we could say, what can I do with this 15 minutes, this half an hour, this 1 hour that can be helpful to someone else? Mentoring even. What do you think, Reverend?
Well, I think it's very good because I did volunteer work like most of my life. And it has always been something that I enjoyed doing. And I never thought that I was wasting my time. And yes, about these resolutions that we take. we take resolutions like on the first of the year. But your idea of taking resolutions like every 3 months, this is extremely smart, because the thing is that if we were taking resolutions every season to do something, like transform ourselves into something else. So let us say we're taking bad habits from one season to another season, because it does not take a long time to take a bad habit. So if we were actually trying to create a new habit, a beautiful habit that will help us and help others, well, we could do it that way every season, and we evaluate if we actually are doing the habit that we actually did decide that we were doing. If it's not realistic, well, we create a new habit that will be more realistic for us. So, what do you think about that?
I like the idea of new habits and letting go of things that don't serve us. I just did a show about that. I gave up alcohol and sugar 100 days ago, and there
Yes.
were just bad habits, and there's no one to be accountable to. I live by myself. There's no one I was checking in with. There was no one said, you need to do this. I didn't have a problem. But by doing that, I've given myself the ability to have really very clear focus. And some would say, oh, well, you're boring now. I don't think I'm boring. I think that my structure and discipline has allowed me to be very creative. And so I'm always coming up with new things, and I'm not second guessing myself. So I think by taking one habit that might not be serving us and just eliminating it and seeing what opens up for us, because many times we hold on so strongly and deeply to something because it's what we know, because we've always done this. It's been like this in our family for generations. Everyone did this, everyone does that. But that doesn't have to be the way that it is.
You're so right. And by the way, you are not boring. I've known you for 2 years, and nothing changed. Actually, you are the same person. You are fun, and you are a loyal person to everyone. So the thing is that the only thing that happened is that now have something more. You just took a challenge that actually was not easy, and it did not make you a boring person at all. So those that actually think you're boring, well, they probably do not know you very well. So that is the way it is. But when we talk about spring cleaning, everyone was thinking when we were young, our mothers were washing the walls, our mothers were washing the floors, cleaning the carpet. I know my neighbor. She's Greek, and she's absolutely beautiful. So every spring it is a thorough spring cleaning in the house, and everyone in that house is cleaning. It is the same for me. I do I'll clean all the crystal and everything, but I do soul cleaning also. The thing is that the habits that I do not need, I get rid of also. And I do things like get rid of books, which is something that I have difficulty in. I have difficulty getting rid of books because am a bookworm. So my addiction is to books. that is my addiction. So that is the way it is. And that and crystal. So whatever is in crystal, I love crystal. So the thing is, my daughter's name is even Crystal. So you can imagine how much I love Crystal. So you were talking about someone you knew that actually was collecting items because in their head there was something that was getting harder. So the thing is that I would like you to explain the process, because I love the way you were explaining the process of knowing a person that actually buys a lot of things to actually fill a gap. So it is so interesting what you said before the show. I would like for you to explain that to the public.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'd be happy to. So, what we were talking about at the beginning of our time together before we went live was what I observed in watching someone I loved slowly lose their mind. And it is not a pleasant thing if you know anyone who has dementia or Alzheimer's, or you know someone who's going through memory loss, to watch the actual process of what your loved one goes through and also what you go through as a caregiver. It's really a lot. And so one of the things that I noticed was, especially during the pandemic, an excessive amount of purchasing where we had Amazon coming every day delivering things, it seemed like. And some of the things, it was doubles, triples. One time, I think there were 15 of the same thing because the person's mind was starting to go. And I really feel in order to compensate for that, the person decided to buy more things, because when you have a bunch of things around you, if you are surrounded, I'm not going to use the word clutter, but if you have a lot of things around you, then maybe you won't feel very lonely. If you have blank walls, if you have a very modern type of setting wherever it is that you are, maybe you're in nature and you don't have any materialistic things, then you are almost forced to do soul searching because there's nothing to distract you. But what I witnessed was a person who was trying to fill up every single space, every empty space that you could find with things, with clutter. And I think because the person's brain was really starting to go. What I've learned about dementia and Alzheimer's is that there are holes in the brain, which are where the memories were, and now there's nothing there anymore. And so those memories of their life, they're gone. But if you have things, the more the merrier, then maybe those feelings of fear or isolation will go away. But the truth is the opposite. If you are someone, in my experience, who does a lot of work on themselves, when you are in a situation or in an environment where there is so much stuff, there's so much clutter, you start to feel, at least in my case, it's almost like you can't breathe. You feel like you're suffocating. Have you ever been in anyone's home and every single aspect, there are things there? It might not even be things, for example. It could be pets. Have you ever been with anyone who has, an excessive amount of pets? And when I say excessive, some people might be offended, but more than they're actually able to take care of. Because I've seen shows on this, documentaries, newscasts, they go into the homes and the animals are not being taken care of. Now, we can't say this across the board, but it costs a lot of money to take care of animals, right? It costs a lot of money to take care of numerous people in the family, and someone's got to be picking up and cleaning. And so when this isn't happening, there becomes some element of dysfunction. And as I mentioned, Reverend, and to our audience about the Hoarders series, one of the episodes, the woman who owned the home, there was almost no space for the woman to walk. And her mattress was covered in filth. And there was only a small place for her to even rest her head. She did not have any working toilet or sink or shower or tub in her home. She had a home, she had nothing working, and there was no water. And she just decided not to pay the water bill. She never cleaned the toilet, so what was in there was still in there from years ago. It was unbelievable. And when they finally got to the end of the show, where they bring the experts out who are trying to talk to her through the whole thing, she started talking about how she had been sexually abused for a lot of her life, and she never talked about it. She was hysterically crying. And she stuffed all of those feelings. She left them in there and just didn't want to deal with it, didn't know how to deal with it, and just put every amount of stuff as high as you could see, as wide as you could see. People couldn't even walk through her home. It was gut-wrenching. So it's not just about spending too much money, having a shopping problem in these scenarios. It's much deeper.
You are absolutely right. Yes, you are right. Because when I was working for the hospital, actually, we had to go to homes, and some homes were um, overwhelming. Overwhelming. We had to go and take care of patients at home. And sometimes, we did not judge. We absolutely did not judge. But when you had to do blood work on a patient that was at home, sometimes you would see dishes that had not been done for like a month. And I know that as a nurse, what I would do is that sometimes I would start doing the dishes because if I had extra time, let us say I was close to my lunchtime, I would do the dishes because I wanted to do something for them to actually see their sink and to actually have clean dishes. I was doing the maximum because I did not have much time. But the thing is that we saw terrible things as nurses. We saw animals everywhere, and I am scared of mice, and there were mice in the house, and oh, we saw many things, and we have to respect the way they live. We cannot change things unless they want us to do things. So this is the hardest part, actually, because we know they have a problem. We know we can solve the problem, but actually we cannot solve the problem because they do not want to cooperate. So when there is a problem like that, it is difficult actually to go and see those patients. And those patients that actually we go visit in psychiatry, also their homes sometimes, depending on how deep the problem is, sometimes their homes are a terrible clutter, or sometimes it is the opposite, so clean that actually you are afraid to walk on the floor because their home is spotless, because that is the way they are. As a nurse, that is the way you see things. So, what do you think of that?
Well, I think you brought up another really good point, which is the opposite, where people are they're very concerned about germs. I actually knew someone who wore medical gloves all the time, or they were driving and they wore regular gloves. They didn't want to touch anything with their hands. And I know for myself that in my home, I don't wear shoes and I don't want other people wearing shoes. And it might sound crazy, but you bring that dirt in with you. And at the same time, I've gotten people saying to me, but I love my shoes. Like, why would I want to come over and take my shoes off? That's really weird. And I understand that too. That makes a lot of sense. You are going to someone's home and now you're either walking barefoot or you've got on a stocking or a sock. And, you could provide slippers as well. And the person might be like, but they're not my slippers. And if they bring their own slippers, then they were in their own house with their own dirt. So it can go either way. But I feel like it's more obvious when someone is living in a situation like hoarding, for example. And based on what I saw in those programs, there was more than just one person living like that, different scenarios. None of them wanted to talk about it. And they would act with someone in their family, obviously called in or wrote into a producer to say, my family member needs some help. But in every case that I saw in this series, the person who was hoarding acted like they were okay with someone coming in, but yet they really weren't. They were a nervous wreck, and they were filled with shame. The shame of letting their life get to the point where strangers had to come in for $50, $60, $100,000 to rectify the situation. And oh, by the way, does that mean that they wouldn't do it again? So if you don't get to share, to get everything that's been building inside of you out, the likelihood of your behavior changing is not very high.
You are right. You're absolutely right. Because the thing is that, when they were hoarding, or when I was doing the dishes the week after, I had to do the dishes again.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't
that
change.
no, it does not change. And the thing is that, as they say, the more you do, the less they do. So that is the way it is. But
That's true.
that the people actually, they live in shame, but they could have help, but they are judged. That is the problem. Many are judged. So they are scared of going to get help because they are judged. So when it happens to a person that someone that is a hoarder, the problem is to be nice, to be calm, to be kind, and to be understanding and not judge, and start by the beginning. That is all I have to say about that. So what do you think about that? We are at the end of our show. So what do you think about being kind to someone that is a hoarder?
I think it's important to be kind to many people as you can, because we never understand what someone's going through. And even though somebody looks like they have everything going and they have no issues, we all have issues, right? That's part of the journey of life. Mm-hmm. So because one person's issues seem to be more obvious, it's not right to make fun of them or judge them. It's just like with TV shows, sometimes we have people popping on, putting in negative comments. That's not right either, right? We want to be kind to each other. We're all here on this planet. We all have a right to be here. And so let's support one another. Let's be curious and ask how we can help and share goodness and kindness. That's how I feel. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
It is a pleasure. And I love having you every week. So thank you very much, Dr. Jacalyn. It is very enlightening to have you all the time. So we will see you next week for A Woman Prerogative. So subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV and Radio, and to Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK's channel. So thank you. Namaste. So it was a pleasure being with you again this week. Thank you.
Hey, you. Psst. Yes, you. Watching this right now. Are you creating content, a blog, a podcast, a newsletter, going live on Instagram or TikTok, and still not seeing real visibility or growth? Here's why. Anyone can post, anyone can go live, but not everyone is positioned to be taken seriously. Right now, people are going to YouTube to search for experts, for answers, for credibility. So while you're putting in the work, someone else is being seen as the authority. Not because they know more, because they're positioned better. Now imagine this. Your own professionally produced TV show, marketed, distributed, optimized with SEO so people can actually find you. Not just seen, but searchable, discoverable, positioned. You're trained, you're coached, you're guided. No experience necessary, but you do have to be coachable, because this is about stepping into a higher level. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing it right. We've already built the platform, 2 YouTube channels, a global audience, a Silver Creator Award. So the question is, how much longer are you going to rely on temporary visibility when you could be building real authority? If you're ready to be seen differently, go to usaglobaltv.com and apply to host your own show. This is for individuals who are serious about investing in their visibility, their credibility, and their growth. If that's you, we're ready. USA Global TV and Radio, where your voice becomes your platform. Executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. Videographer, Paul Garcia. Voiceover, Ed Vargas. All rights reserved. This production is the exclusive property of the USA Global TV and Radio and may not be reproduced, distributed, or used without written permission.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.